And from your comfortable seat, as I usually do, we will mute everyone after we center. And I don't anticipate any props needed today. It's always nice to have a couple blocks nearby, but it's certainly not necessary. And so let's just bring both hands to your heart. Let your eyes close and draw your chin inwards. And just take a few nice deep cleansing breaths here. Just allow these deep breaths to be like a bridge, taking you from the world of doing into this inner world of being. And breathing all the way to the root, the base of your spine. And full, complete exhales. And so I've been thinking and writing a lot about the concept of tapas this week. Tapas is a Sanskrit word meaning basically willpower, practice, your connection to your practice. Another translation of tapas, though, is inner fire. So we're going to take a moment here to connect with our own inner fire, that which keeps us coming to the mat. And so with your eyes closed, let's bring both hands now to your low belly. Just place your hands just beneath your belly button. And in your mind's eye, you can envision here a little fire stoking in this internal self just beneath the hands. And as you breathe deeply inward, it has the same effect as if you were blowing on a little spark to start a fire. So as you breathe deeply inwards, you can envision that fire drawing upwards, maybe licking the collarbone. And as we exhale fully, you can picture that fire kind of guttering outwards, not going out, but sending its heat out to the perimeters. And so sitting here with this visualization, this breathing in, stoking this fire upwards, and breathing out, stoking that fire outwards. And if you're comfortable with it, you might even begin to introduce a light ujjayi breath here, a little light constriction of the throat. That ujjayi breath is also a way to create more heat, more fire. And the yogi concept of tapas says that this inner fire, this tapas, this structure to our practice is really what allows us to grow and to move forward on this yogic path. And so here, connecting with your reason for staying connected to your practice, not just today, but the reason you make time for this practice every week. And let that be fuel for your inner fire. And as you're ready, we'll invite our hands back up to heart center, releasing that visualization, but knowing that inner tapas, inner fire is still with us. And we'll take a sound of Om. Feel free to chant silently or to join your voices together. Let your inhale prepare you. Nice big inhale here. And at the top of your inhale, activate those inner bandhas. Draw your belly button in and up. Draw your chin inward. Suspend your breath outwards. And as you exhale, release your hands to your lap. Let your eyes begin to open. Lift your chin upwards. Here we'll mute everybody. If you're seated on a block like I was or on a blanket, just to invite that to scoot out of the way. Bring yourself fully to the ground. And as we settle ourselves fully in the ground, if you've been cross-legged, perhaps we'll switch that cross of our legs here, bringing the opposite leg in front. Bring your palms to your knees and we'll inhale, sending your heart forward. Exhale, rounding back, dropping your gaze inward. So we're inhaling forward, exhaling inwards. And just beginning to move here into your spine, into your hips a little bit, waking up the legs. So taking that inner heat that we've begun to cultivate and just allowing that inner heat to get taller, to move throughout the body. And the next time we come to the back arc of our circle, we'll pause a moment here and then circle in the opposite direction. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Good. Bringing yourself back to center here. So we could stay cross-legged if that's comfortable for you. If you are comfortable kneeling, I'm going to invite you to come kneeling. So you don't have to come kneeling if that's not comfortable. We're going to bring our palms towards each other and press palm to palm very firmly, right to left, left to right. And as we press palm to palm, let's bring our forearms parallel to the ground. So strong pressure between the palms. Good. And we'll inhale, keeping this pressure between the palms. Rotate your fingers forward and down. Exhale, keeping that pressure. Bring your fingers upwards and inwards. And so just moving here with your breath's rhythm, beginning to awaken the wrists, the forearms, the elbows, the shoulders. Good. The next time your fingers are all pointing up, let's pause here. Keep palm to palm, but relax the elbows down. Release some of that pressure. Yeah. Good. So here, we're going to draw those hands inwards and then bring the palms forwards and the back of the hands together. And then we'll roll that up. So we're just kind of making a little bit of a roll here. Yeah. And if you're not following me exactly, that's okay. Just looking for a little bit more mobility, a little bit more lubrication of our wrist joints. Good. And let's release here. So let's soften your hands. Good. Little shake here. And let's bring this action into the shoulders. So rolling your shoulders upwards and backwards. And the next time those shoulders come back, we'll pause and switch that roll, rolling your shoulders forwards, upwards and forwards. Good. Pausing here. Let's bring both hands to your lap and we'll just tick-tock the head a little side to side. And as we're moving our head side to side, invite a little softness into your jaw. Maybe create some space between your back teeth. Good. The next time your head's towards center, let's drop your chin inwards. Turn this into a full circle if it serves you. And so full circle here, keeping that jaw soft, keeping that sense of softness even into your temples and on the face. You might give your face permission to release any held expression here. And the next time your chin's drawing inwards, we'll pause here. Reverse this circle. If you're taking full circles, just bring it the opposite direction. Good. Bringing yourself back to center here. Let's lift the gaze. Draw your ears into alignment with your shoulders. Keep your chin parallel to the ground. Take a nice big inhale, stretch up. Exhale, take an easy twist to the right. Gaze over that back right shoulder. Breathing deeply, keep your spine extending long. And as you exhale, might continue with that tapas cultivation by drawing the belly button firmly in and up with each exhale. Relax that action as you inhale. And then reconnect. Nice strong contraction of the abdominals as you exhale. Let your inhale bring you back to center. Stretch all 10 fingers up to the sky. And exhale, twisting in the opposite direction. Gaze over the opposite shoulder. Nice big long inhale. And full contraction exhale. Good. On an inhale, bring it back to center, nice and tall. Reach your fingers upwards. Draw your palms towards each other through heart center. And then we'll just begin to work our way down to the mat. So if you want a blanket beneath your knees, we won't be on our knees too long, but it's nice to have that handy. Settle your palms directly beneath your shoulders, knees directly beneath the hips. And let's begin to, we'll continue that spinal movement. So draw the shoulder blades towards each other. Drop your heart, lift your gaze. Big inhale. As you exhale, press the center of your spine up. Drop the weight of your head down. And so just moving here with your breath, inhaling, arching your spine. Exhaling, rounding, moving into the Chakravakasana. And so moving not just the spine here, but the yogis say also aligning the chakras, aligning those internal little centers of energy and allowing that fire to continue its heat, its purification of the inner body. Good. Bring your body neutral here, spine parallel to the ground. Begin to extend your fingers away from each other. Curl your 10 toes under if they're not already. And on an inhale, bring your hips up and back, coming into our first Adho Mukha Svanasana. Keep your neck long, head nice and heavy here. And maybe we'll bend and straighten opposite knees as our body begins to warm. We've had our legs folded so far in the practice. And so give those big muscles in the back of your legs just some time to warm, some time to awaken here. And then bringing both legs into stillness if we've been moving here. It's okay if the heels are lifted here. In fact, let's all lift our heels up nice and high. Bring your gaze forward. Use an inhale, float forward. Spine comes parallel to the ground. Good. Exhale, lift from your abdomen. Send those hips backwards. And so in our inhale, we're waving forward, coming into our Phalakasana, plank pose. And as we exhale, we're lifting up and back, returning to that downward facing dog. Let this wave come with your own breath. And now if it serves you, if you want to continue working that inner heat, you can keep working with that ujjayi breath. That's that little light constriction of the throat. Kind of makes it sound like a wave as you exhale. Good. The next time we come back into that downward facing dog, let's bend into the knees. Send those knees back down to the ground. Might keep your knees side by side, or you might choose to separate your knees the width of your mat as we come here for a moment in our pose of the child. So sink your hips back towards your heels. Let your third eye just soften onto the ground. And as we come here into this balasana, rotate your palms upwards, maybe even press into your elbows and just give those wrists a little rotation here. And then rotating your wrists in the opposite direction. Good. Let's bend back into the elbows, straightening your arms, separate your palms, bring yourself back through your tabletop position, settling those knees, hips width distance once more. We'll bring the toes curling under, hips up and back, returning here to our Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let your body be in stillness here. Outer body comes into a stillness. Inner body is still very active. Still nice, deep, full, complete yogi breaths here. And let's inhale here. Lift your gaze upwards. Lift your heels upwards. Walk your toes to that front line of your yoga mat. So coming here into your forward fold. Bring your fingertips to your knees. Lengthen your spine parallel to the ground. Big inhale here in our half lift. Then exhale, draw your belly button in. Bend your knees enough to bring your fingertips to your blocks or the ground. Let your head be heavy here, surrendering to the shape, your Uttanasana. Next, inhale. Let's bring both hands to the hips. Point your elbows upwards. Use your exhale. Press the floor away from you. Inhale. Get tall. Reach for the sky. Exhale. Bring both hands to heart center. Anjali Mudra here. Nice big inhale. Reaching upwards. Lift your heart. Lift your gaze. Exhale. Lengthen your heart away from your hips. Lower those fingertips down to the ground. Take your half rise, Ardha Uttanasana here, then exhale, soften inwards. Come back to that ease of our standing forward fold. Good. Bending your knees here enough to bring those palms firmly to the earth. Let's step our feet backwards here, coming into our plank pose. So as the feet come backwards, press back through the heels. It's going to take some of the weight off of the wrists here. Keep your fingers spreading wide. Feel your head, heart, and hips in a straight line. Nice big inhale here. Good. As you exhale, lift those hips up and back. Maybe walk the feet ever so slightly inwards, transitioning back into our downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Nice big inhale here. Bend both knees. Exaggerate that action of pressing your hips up and back. And then exhale, straighten into your legs. Good. Inhale, lift your gaze, walk your toes forward. Find that front line of your yoga mat. Take your half rise. Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale here. Exhale, draw your belly button in, fold deeper. Inhale, both hands to your hips. Roll your shoulders open, press into your feet. Rise up here, coming back to our Tadasana. Use your inhale, reach upwards. Exhale, join your hands at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Inhale here, reach your fingers upwards. As your fingers come high, soften your shoulders consciously inwards. Take a hold of your right wrist with your left fingertips. Peel that right heel away from the ground, and then snuggle the right ankle behind the left. Good. Keep that right thumb moving towards the wall behind you. Nice big inhale here. As you exhale, arc your body to the left. Nice deep breaths here. Good. Let's inhale, bringing it back towards center. Keep those ankles crossed. Release your wrists down. Roll your shoulders backwards here. Yeah, nice release for the shoulders. Big inhale, reach your fingers upwards. Keep those ankles crossed. Lift your gaze. We're playing with balance here. Exhale, soften forward and down. Maybe catch your blocks, maybe catch the ground. Coming into this little twisty forward fold. Let's find our half lift here. Inhale here. Exhale, soften in. Good. And then softening inwards, we're going to take that right heel, that back heel, unwind it and step it back. So turning this into a high lunge. And so take your time if you need to, just adjusting that foundation. Feel firm in your foundation. Good. And we'll release that back right knee down. Right hand is going to land beneath the right shoulder. Left fingertips are going to peel upwards. So breathing here. Good. One more big inhale. Hold this shape as you exhale. Let an inhale lower that lifted hand. So inhale that lifted hand down to the ground. Exhale here. Use your inhale, press that back knee up and away from the ground. And then exhale, hop your back foot halfway in. Bring both hands forward here, and it's fine if the hands are on blocks or they could be on the ground. As you inhale, we're going to fly the right heel upwards. So reach that right heel upwards. Maybe press through the heel, or maybe see how it feels to point through the right toes. Keep that right leg lifting upwards. Maybe play with sending the hand or both hands to the ankle of your standing leg. So here, just playing with our standing splits, right toes reaching high, left leg long and supportive. Maybe the hands play with coming to that left ankle. Nice big inhale here, reaching that right heel up, 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 up. And then exhale, snuggle the right ankle right back behind the left, just as we started. Good, playing with balance here. Inhale, lift halfway, gaze is down, spine is long. Exhale, fold again. Still playing with balance. Inhale, bring both hands to your hips, roll your shoulders open. Use your exhale, rise up here. Good, we'll unwind that right foot out to the right. Open your arms wide, big open star pose, big inhale. Exhale, step or hop your feet towards each other. Inhale, reach your fingers high. Exhale, lengthen away from your hips. Lower those fingertips down. Symmetrical forward fold here. Take your half rise, Ardha Uttanasana. Then exhale, soften inwards. Bring both hands to your hips. Roll your shoulders open. Use your exhale. Rise up here. Inhale, reach your fingers up. Exhale, soften your shoulders consciously inwards. Encircle your left wrist. Lift your left heel upwards. Bring that left ankle to snuggle behind the right. Good. Soles of both feet firmly connected to the ground here. Feel that left thumb open, moving towards the wall behind you. Big inhale here. As you exhale, we'll arc your body to the right. Good. Gaze here could be up, forward, or down. Good. Inhale, bring your body back towards center. Exhale, release your wrists. Keep those ankles crossed. Take a little roll of your shoulders here. Keep that energy moving, rolling forward, rolling backwards, just a little release. Inhale, reach your fingers upwards. Keep those ankles crossed as you exhale, softening forward and down, coming into this little twisty forward fold here. Find your half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, soften in. Keep those ankles crossed. Fingers here could be connected to the blocks if they're not coming to the ground easily. Good. Inhale, both hands to the hips. Little balance here as we exhale, rising up. Keep those feet down. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, lengthen forward, lowering down. Good. And again, here, hands could be connected down to the ground or down to the blocks. It's going to take your half lift here. Look at that front line of your yoga mat. And as you exhale, we're going to walk this left heel backwards. So transitioning here to a lunge. So give yourself permission, move those feet into a comfortable foundation for you. And as you find that foundation, we'll lower your left knee fully to the ground. Release your left palm here to a block or here to your mat. And use your inhale, stretch those right fingertips up. So twisting towards that front knee. Gaze here could be up, straight ahead, or rotating down, whichever best releases those tight neck muscles. Big full breaths here. Good, big yogi breath. Big inhale. Hold this shape for your exhale. Use an inhale, lower your lifted hand. Frame that front foot. And then curl the back toes under, lift that back knee up and away from the ground. Bring your gaze forward, walk your fingertips forward, and on an inhale, we'll fly this left heel up, coming into our standing splits left side. And same thing on this side. So you might draw the toes in, pressing through the heel, or you might play with pointing the toes, lifting from there. So no right or wrong here, just whatever best serves your body. And again, on this side, you might play with how it feels to bring palm to palm, palm to ankle. I'm on a carpet beneath my yoga mat, so I can't get a good enough balance to bring both hands to my ankle, but maybe you can. It's just nice deep breaths here, really awakening those big muscles of the leg. Keep those left toes or left heel reaching upwards. Nice big inhale. Exhale, let's snuggle that left ankle back behind the right. So coming back to those twisty legs with which we began. Take your half lift here. Big inhale, gaze down, spine long. Exhale, let your spine descend long. Release the weight of your head here. Next, inhale, bring both hands to your hips. Point your elbows upwards. Use your exhale, rise up here. As we rise, unwind. Step that left foot out to the left. Open your arms wide. Big star pose. Big inhale. And exhale. Step or hop your feet together. Good. Finding, if you're not already there, that front line of your yoga mat. Nice big inhale. Stretch your fingers tall. Exhale, come forward and down, coming into that Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Find your half rise here, Ardha Uttanasana. Then exhale, soften in. Step the right toes back, big lunge. As your right toes come back, plant both hands firmly down onto the ground. Keep your fingers spreading wide. Press into your palms. Step your left foot back. Phalakasana, plank pose here. Keep pressing back through your heels. Feel your head, heart, hips, heels, all in a straight line. Let's walk your left hand inwards. Begin to transition to the outer edge of your left foot. Right foot could come in front of your body, bending at the right knee. Press into the right heel. Lift the right fingertips up. Always the option to stack heel on heel here. Action here is really reaching these hips up and away from the ground. Big deep breaths. Good. Next, exhale. Let's lower that lifted hand. If that right foot has been supporting you, step it back. Come back to our plank pose. Big inhale here. Exhale, lift those hips up and back. Maybe walk the toes inwards, coming here back to our downward dog. Nice deep breaths here. Next, exhale, bring both knees to the ground. Drop both elbows down to the ground. Keep your elbows directly beneath your shoulders. Palms could be flat here, might choose to interlace. Curl your toes under, bring your hips up and back. So coming here from our downward dog into our dolphin pose. So neck could be long. If your neck's long, your head is lifted away from the ground. So there's some space there. Option 2 is chin lifted, gaze forward towards that front line of your yoga mat. Good. Exhale. Let's lower your lifted knees. Bring both palms back down to the ground. And as your palms come to the ground, curl your toes under. Walk your hands inwards. We're coming to a kneeling position, hands just in front of the knees. Good. And as your hands come inwards, let's lift the knees upwards and walk your feet outwards. So we're transitioning here to our yogi squat. Heels here could be up or down. And as our knees come wide, we'll bring the elbows into the knees. So if you need that extra support, keep your hands down here. Or we can bring the hands inwards, coming here to our malasana. Good, wherever we are, let's connect again with that inner fire breath. So closing the eyes, picture that little flame licking up towards your collarbone as you inhale. Picture that flame going outwards towards the perimeters as you exhale. Good. Next exhale. If they're not already, let's bring those fingertips back down to the ground. Use your inhale, lift your hips up. And as your hips come up, heel toe your feet towards each other. So transitioning here into our Uttanasana. Take your half rise, gaze down, spine nice and long. Then draw your belly button in. Lift your spine length and long. Weight of your head come down. Use your inhale to send both hands to your hips. Roll your shoulders open. Then exhale, rise up here. Nice big inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bring your hands through heart center, then come all the way back down to the ground. Take that half lift, gaze down, spine nice and long. Big inhale here, then exhale, soften inward. Step the left toes backwards. Big lunge on the left-hand side. And as those left toes come back, bring both palms to the ground. Palms land directly beneath your shoulders, fingers spread wide. As you're ready, press into your palms, lighten your hips, step the right foot back, coming here into that plank pose. Keep the weight pressing into your heels to keep that weight off of your wrists. This time, right hand is going to come towards your midline. Transition into the outer edge of the right foot. Left foot could stack in front. Left fingertips reach upwards, coming here into our Vasisthasana side plank. Breathing deeply. Good. Next exhale, let's lower down, coming back to that plank pose. Big, strong alignment here of the central body. Head, heart, hips. Big inhale. Use your exhale, send those hips up and back. As your hips come up and back, walk those toes slightly inwards, transitioning here to your downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. The next exhale, let's bring both knees to the ground. As your knees come to the ground, we'll bring both elbows downwards. Again, finding that straight line from your shoulder to your elbow. Forearms could stay side by side or interlace all but the pointer finger here. Option to stay down, knees low, or curl those toes under. Bring your hips up and back, transitioning here to our dolphin pose. And if those hips are lifted, use your exhale, bring those knees firmly to the ground. Place both hands directly beneath your shoulders, and then here, begin to walk those fingertips in towards your knees. Curl your toes under. As your fingers come in, let's lift the knees upwards. Walk the heels outwards as you send your hands inside the knees, transitioning towards our yogi squat here. And again, option for those heels to be lifted, or you might bring the heels firmly to the ground. Fingertips here might stay forward supporting you, or you might bring the elbows to the inner knees, hands to heart center. And let's close our eyes, come back to that tapas, that inner fire visualization. Good. Next exhale. If they're not already, bring those fingertips down to the ground. Use an inhale, lift your hips up, heel toe your feet inward, coming here back into that shape of our forward fold. Take your half rise, big inhale, exhale, surrender in. Inhale, both hands come to your hips, roll those shoulders open. Use your exhale, rise up here. Take an inhale, stretch upwards. Exhale, bring both hands, heart center, Anjali Mudra. Another inhale, reaching up, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center, then bring it all the way down to the ground. So just transitioning once more into the shape of the forward fold. Find your half rise. Exhale, surrender inwards. Release the weight of your head down. Release that front foot all the way back. Good. So coming here into a nice high lunge. Let's bring that same hand. So that right hand, if the right foot is back, to the right hip. We'll rotate right heel down, right toes forward. As you do that, bring your left elbow to your left knee. So transitioning here into our side angle pose. Good. Roll that top shoulder open. Lean your whole shoulder girdle backwards. Yeah, good. Might stay here, right hand in your right hip, or might take that right hand behind your body, maybe lifting your gaze upwards. If it doesn't cause pain in the shoulder, you might instead take that right arm parallel to your right ear, extending those fingertips forward. Gaze here could be up, forward, or down, breathing deeply wherever we are. Good. Let's exhale. Bring that right hand back to the hip if it's not there already. Drop your gaze if you're not already looking down towards those left toes. Release the right heel, spin the right toes forward, right heel reaches up, and then frame that front foot. Both hands come to frame the front foot. Walk your hands on the inside of that front foot. Bring your right foot forward on the outside of both hands. So we're coming back to that wide-legged squat. Bend into your knees. Drop your hips here. Always an option if this is getting tiresome to place a block underneath your seat here. Fingers down or fingers up as we come back into our Yogi Malasana. Option to stay here, or we can drop the left hand down, extend the right fingertips up, taking a twist. Maybe even a bind, rotating those right fingertips, right palm to face behind you, reaching that right hand behind the back. And if we're working towards the bind, keep that left hand pressing outwards, opening your heart upwards, or left hand could rise up, keeping that knee on the outside of the left arm. Maybe the hands want to join behind the back. Good, let's inhale, come back towards center, both hands to heart center. Good. Exhale, lower your fingertips onto the ground. And as your fingers lower onto the ground, let's lift your heels up. So heels lift up. We're going to send a little bit more weight into the fingertips here. Good. So just play with this, just kind of rocking forward and backwards. Good. Let's plant both palms downwards. We'll stretch the right fingertips backwards as if we're swimming. Nestle that right hand inwards. So right upper arm is in the inside of the right knee. Right palm is connected to the ground. And we'll do the same with our left. So swimming back. Find that nice firm connection. And we'll just come back to this leaning forward and backwards. So as we lean forward, we can squeeze the knees inwards, press the arms outwards. And as we lean back, just taking some weight off there. So moving here, just preparing the body for a crow pose. So if it's in your practice to do crow, you might even take one here, just squeezing those arms inwards, pointing the toes towards each other. You might stay with just this rocking. This is preparation of the body. The next time your heels come down, let's transition upwards. Coming into our forward fold. Take your half lift. Exhale, softening in. Use your inhale, send both hands to your hips, roll your shoulders open, and exhale, rise up here. Nice big inhale, stretch tall. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Good, come back to that top line of your yoga mat if you're not there already. Use your inhale, nice tall Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, soften forward and down, Uttanasana. Take your half rise here, gaze down, spine long. Exhale, soften in, step your left toes back, big lunge. Good, bring your left hand to your hip, roll your left shoulder open, and then we'll drop the left heel down, left toes come forward, and as we do that, bring your right elbow to your right knee. Good, so rolling that top shoulder open, let's bring the whole shoulder girdle back. Yeah, so whole torso just moves towards that wall behind you. Left hand might stay on the left hip, might come behind the back, maybe reaching for the right thigh. Maybe that left arm wants to come parallel to the left ear, stretching those fingertips forward. Gaze here could be up, forward, or down. Coming into our Parsvakonasana, nice extended side angle here. Good. On an exhale, bring that lifted hand back to your hip if it's not there already. Drop your gaze down towards the right toes if they're not there already. And we'll spin our back heel up, drop both hands downwards here. Going to bring your hands to the inner edge of that front foot. Walk your back foot forward to the outer edge of both hands and then bend into your knees. Drop your hips here. So coming into our Malasana, other side. And again, always the option to slip a block or even blocks underneath your seat here. I'm doing a lot of low squats this morning. I know that's not everybody's jam. Good, so fingers could stay down to support, could come to heart center. An option here to take that twist on the other side. So if we're twisting, it's going to be right hand down. Keep that right knee on the outer edge of that upper right arm. Left fingertips come up. Might stay here, arms open, or you might play with that bind. We could come to a half bind, sending that lifted hand to our low back, keeping the gaze up, keeping that lower hand reaching out to the right, or you might release that low hand, keeping the upper arm on the inside of that right knee, maybe the hands join behind the back. Good. If the hands are joined, or even if they're not joined, we'll use an inhale, unwind it back to center. Exhale, release those fingertips down to the ground. And as the fingertips come down, lift the toes upwards. Maybe walk the heels slightly closer to each other. Keep those knees nice and wide. And here we'll swim the left arm backwards and forwards, reaching back and then planting that palm to the ground, high five hands, fingers spread wide. Do the same with the right hand. Good, and then here, just leaning forwards and backwards. So again, playing a little bit here with our crow pose. This might be exactly where we stay this morning, just seeing how it feels to lift the heels up, send the weight forward. Or if it's in your practice and you want to play with full crow, the next time you come forward, squeeze those knees inwards, keep those arms pressing outwards, point the toes towards each other. So wherever you are, if you're playing here, if you're rocking, if you're coming into the balance, we're all going to bring those toes fully back down. Draw the knees towards each other. Lift your hips up, coming into your forward fold here. Take your half rise. Exhale, draw your belly button and let yourself fold fully here. Use your inhale, send both hands to your hips. Roll your shoulders open. Exhale here, press into your feet, rise up. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Nice big inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, lead with your heart as you bow forward, coming into this Uttanasana. Find your half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, soften in, plant your hand, step it back to the long line of your spine in your downward dog. Shorten the space between your toes and your hands. So walk the hands one handprint backwards, shorter downward dog here. Lift that right hand up, reach underneath your down dog, grab for the outer left shin. Gaze here could come underneath that left arm. And on an inhale, we'll unwind, settle that right palm back down to the ground. Reaching beneath your body with your left hand, grab for the outer right shin. Gaze comes out underneath that right shoulder. And inhale, unwinding that left hand. Let's bring both knees fully to the ground. And as the knees come to the ground, let's take a seat upwards. Bring your heels forward, knees pointing up. Good. Reach underneath the right knee. Grab for the left ankle. Draw the left heel by the left hip, by the right hip, excuse me. So left heel crosses the body. And then bring your right knee directly inwards. Good. Might keep this right knee directly inwards or might cross that right foot. Keep the sole of your foot down, knee pointing upwards. Hug that right knee in with both hands and get tall. Draw your low back in. Yeah, feel your ears center over your shoulders. Keep that right knee hugging in with the left hand. Stretch the right fingertips up nice and tall. Big inhale. Exhale, rotate towards that right knee. Bring that right hand behind your body. Gaze over the right shoulder. Left hand could keep hugging this knee in, or you might want to bring your left elbow to the outside of that right knee, maybe even joining finger to thumb, keeping those fingers pointing upwards. And on an inhale, let's unwind, coming back towards that right knee. Good. Uncross your legs here. Releasing that lower left leg, bringing both knees pointing upwards. Reaching beneath the left to grab for the right ankle. Draw that right heel underneath. Left heel could come straight inwards here, or you might take that cross, bringing the sole of your left foot down, keeping your knee pointing up. Hug that knee in with both hands. Feel your spine lengthen here, low back drawing in, crown of your head reaching up. Nice big inhale. Good, and then exhale, we'll keep that left knee hugging in with the right hand. Reach the left fingertips up. Big inhale here. Exhale, let's rotate to the left. So towards that left knee, left hand comes behind the body, gaze comes backward. Right hand might keep hugging that left knee in, or you might play with that elbow to knee, fingers pointing up, maybe joining the thumbs and forefingers here in your Gyan Mudra. Good. On an inhale, let's unwind, coming back to center. Uncross your legs, sending both knees pointing upwards. Good. Let's join the soles of the feet towards each other. Open your knees away from each other. Keep some space. So there's a nice little bit of space, more space than usual than I would have for my butterfly pose. So a lot of bit of space between the heels and the sacrum. Lean your hands backwards here. So lean the hands back. Press into the hands. Lift your heart. Lift your gaze here. Nice deep breaths. Good. Keep pressing into the hands. Lift your hips up. Slide your hips closer to your heels and then lower your hips down. So we're coming back into a little bit more of a traditional butterfly pose. And as we lift upwards here, you can keep those hands back if that feels good, or take your fingers, loop them around the big toes, lengthen forward, leading with your heart. So again, always the option to stay back, leaning on the hands if that feels good, or lead with your heart as we come forward into this Baddha Konasana. Wherever we are, stay connected to that nice, deep, complete yogi breath. Inhale, rising upwards here. Keeping your spine neutral. Draw your knees towards each other. And if you're not already, center yourself so that you are in the middle of your yoga mat. So we can come to lying down on your back. And as we come to the back body, keep those knees bent. Keep your feet hips width distance apart. Begin to bend into your elbows. Point your fingertips up to the sky. And as you bend into the elbows, press into the elbows. Draw your elbows closer towards your ribs. That action will take the center of your spine away from the ground. So keep that pressure into your elbows. Press into your heels. Lift your hips up. Good. Exhale, let's lower the hips down. So just taking this super duper supported bridge pose. So keep pressing into the elbows and the heels as your hips rise. Keep pressing into the elbows and your heels as your hips lower. And just moving here with your breath. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And the next time those hips soften into the ground, release your elbows here, bring your knees inward, squeeze your arms around your knees, lift your nose, give yourself a little curl side to side here. And then soften your body fully down. And as you come fully down, we're preparing here for our Shavasana. So if you need an extra layer, if you need to throw a layer on that you took off, I know it's a cold morning here in Florida. If you're practicing in Florida, probably cold everywhere else in the world. Give yourself permission to layer back up. And let your body open, softening down for your Shavasana. Releasing the legs nice and long. Roll your arms soften down by your side. I have a crystal singing bowl tuned to that chakra associated with our tapas, tuned to that third chakra. So I will be playing a little crystal singing bowl for you as you relax here in your Shavasana. So just let your body be heavy. Release any control you might have been holding over your breath. The gift of these crystal bowls is the vibration really does help reset the body at a very powerful level. So just let that vibration wash over you. That's why they call it like a sound bath, just taking a bath in this vibration. And allowing here for your awareness to gently return to your breath. And as those inhales come more fully in and out, you might begin to find some movements into your fingers and your toes. Maybe a little rotation into your wrists, your ankles. And as you're ready, take a nice big inhale, reach your arms backwards, stretch your toes forward. And then bring everything down, hands by your side, bring your knees in, wrap your arms around your knees, give yourself another squeeze. A little movement here, side to side. And as you're ready, let your body soften gently down to one side. Press your top hand down, bring your body up to a seat. And draw your palms towards each other. Close your eyes here. Bring your gaze, inner gaze inwards. And so releasing that visualization of fire that we've worked with so much today, but knowing that fire stays within you. Knowing that this practice is wonderful to do one time, but real shift, real change happens as we commit to it. So thank yourself here for having that commitment, that connection to your practice. And so we'll close with the sound of Om. I'm going to unmute so we can join our voices together. And so feel free to unmute if you'd like to. And we'll take a nice big inhale. Om.